Yeah, I mean, that's 6-2 now in no time at all.
It's a sick finish is what that is.
He's a sick player.
Well, he won't be the one feeling sick now. Craig Marsh will. He really hasn't had the run of the balls in this game. He has not had the opportunities. And this is just one of those games for Craig that I don't even think he'd be that disappointed. Okay, it's disappointing to lose in an open quarter-final, of course, but sometimes you can't win. And Jordan Shepherd's in that sort of mood.
I think, well, that frame was the first actual mistake he's made. He's played that plant and screwed back a bit where I think he should have just topped through or was just stunned so he could have played the red that was over the bottom left-hand corner pocket. But apart from that, he's just, he's left Jordan a couple of awkward tables after he's played safe. Jordan's cleared. Jordan's he's just in unstoppable form at the moment. He's tapped the brake and he's made a ball.
It's really weird.
Wow.
It's so odd because I think it was Tom Cousins who did exactly that in our first match of the day.
Just hit them really soft?
It was John McAllister, tell a lie.
Right.
It was John McAllister. He'd smashed every break, hadn't made a ball. The last break, he hit it really soft like that. Difference is he didn't make a ball either.
Oh, did he not? It's a bit of a theme, isn't it, really? Oh, he's missed his first ball. Missed his first ball.
Which means that it's still an open table.
It's an open table, but it's not an easy table.
It's not, but surely you've got to take yellows just because of the one at the bottom right?
Yeah, you've got to take yellows. No, not Jordan. Let's just sit back and see what he does, because I've not got a clue, to be honest. He is a commentator's nightmare, isn't he, Jordan Shepherd?
Yeah, but a pool watcher's dream.
Oh,
forgive him.
Yeah, well, let's just sit here and watch him then, shall we? He's left the angle. So the bottom, okay, the bottom of the two goes. Look, it's just effortless.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely absurd. That looked like such an awful table to clear up.
Yeah, it did, yeah. And I certainly don't think he's got a full pocket, but if the black goes past the yellow bottom right corner pocket, this is as good as over for me. Oh, no, that's okay.
He'll probably find a way to swerve the black.
He'd do something. This has been an absolute dream of a performance from Jordan Shepherd. And he's looking there. If the black doesn't go bottom right, he can leave himself an angle and plan it into say the left middle or the bottom left corner pocket. A bit more of a acute positional shot, but no, it must go. It must go. I'm sure he hasn't got a full pocket, but I think he's got enough, and he is right behind it. Even if he's you can see he's clearly not got a full pocket there, and he hasn't got it. Wow, surely.
Well, to be fair, I think he. It's the way he plays, I know, but I think he could have done with giving that shot
Bit more.
5 seconds more respect.
Just half a second more. Just any respect would have been good. This is part of your problem with Jordan. It comes too easy to him sometimes.
Well, he's going to find himself. He should find himself in a really horrible spot.
Yeah.
This is.
He'll pot this.
He's found a gap. He's got a gap.
No,
that's harsh.
He'll
That's
pot this.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Jordan Shepherd, what are you doing? What a way to win a match. I mean, Craig's tried to play a good safety there. He's tried to find the perfect... that's symptomatic of everything that happened to Craig Marsh in that match.
I don't know. I thought he maybe could... The yellow that was right next to the black, I thought he could have just clipped off the side of it and pushed it right over the black.
Yeah, maybe.
Got to be worried about... Got to be careful to leave no shot for Jordan, or it would have been a re-rack, but a re-rack's better than...
Yeah,
he's lost.
I agree, but even so, to leave that gap that he left for that one cushion, that went just went between 3 yellows.
Yeah, I mean, wow, what a performance, Jordan Shepherd. Hats off. That was an absolute treat for people to watch there. That's pool play. That is most exciting. That's just at his best. That's as good as it can be, really. It's a great spectacle. Well played, Jordan Shepherd.
Absolutely agree. Should we see if we can get some updated scores? We'll try. I guarantee nothing to the viewing public.
No,
But
we
we'll
haven't seen nothing, but we'll give it a
give
go.
it a go.
Well.
Here we go. Well, we've got a little bit of update, but not a lot. Jordan Church was 3-0 up against Corey Reese, and apparently it's now 3-2. But we are missing all of the data on this game, so at least the last half an hour.
Yeah. What do we know? We know Ian Whitehorn against Lee Clough. Probably almost certainly hasn't gone on yet, so that may well be the next match we've got on here. We're going to get Jordan just have a couple of words with our chairman Kev Barton. So we're going to hand over.
Shep. Jordan, another great performance against another great player in Craig.
Yeah, another similar story to Jake really. Made a mistake the first frame. He made a good finish actually. Then got a really good finish up 1-0 down. And that settled me straight away then. And luckily I had enough chances off Craig's break, which usually you don't get, but made the most of them. And except for the black, I think I only made one more mistake after that, so really happy. Made some good finishes, like a lot of tricky layouts. And
Yeah, it was what I would say, a very mature performance. There was some real top draw stuff, maybe some real intricate, delicate stuff that you had to play. It wasn't just like all-out attack.
Yeah,
it was, you had to really think your way around the table at times. So you must be pleased with that aspect of your game.
Yeah, I felt really good. My concentration's been a joke for however long. Obviously, it's no secret that I really enjoy playing on obviously the stream, and this is what you play pool for, really, just to be on the main table. People watching, there's a good crowd here, and but I can kind of get bogged down when I'm on the outside tables when there's no one. They don't feel like there's no spice on the match, But obviously, me and Craig's really good friends. But I feel like there's a player on the match table, and there's always that added, there's a bit of oomph in the game. I feel.
Yeah, do you find it awkward playing somebody, Craig, you obviously know for years and years and years through, playing for Wales together? Are matches like that easy for you to just get into the zone, or do they just have that little bit extra?
It seems to be, yeah. Against all the Welsh lads, I seem to concentrate really well against them. I don't seem to lose focus against many of them. But yeah, just really happy. I do feel happy the way I played there. I felt like I totally controlled the match and bossed everything, every aspect basically. But yeah, really happy.
Into the semi-finals, it's getting down to the real business end. If you were to win the title, what would that mean to you?
Well, it just proves to myself that obviously it's all I'm head about with the cloth, and obviously the practice-wise, a bit of all sorts really, because I'm probably a firm believer that I think you have to play all the time, but you have to put the effort in to reap the rewards. But I've kind of winged this weekend, and it seems to be going right. So probably just prove myself wrong, basically.
Well played again.
Thank
Great
you,
performance, and no doubt we will see you in the semi-finals a bit later on.
Thank you.
Fantastic performance there from Jordan Shepherd. So our next match is the final quarter-final between Lee Clough, who we saw victorious earlier, against Ian Whitehorn, who just beat the pro number one Liam Dunster in the last 16. So let's hand you back to Dan in the commentary box.
Thanks, Kev. Great to hear the thoughts of Jordan Shepherd there. And I am continuing to be joined for the first time today, actually. We're going to have a bit of continuity in the commentators, because it's going to be the two Dans again, Fairway and Davey.
Yep, Dan and Dana.
That should not have made me laugh that much.
I don't know. You see the table technician just giving it the once over. Great job they do. Been here all weekend. Straight on each table after not just the TV table, all the outside arena tables as well. do a great job making sure they're all level and giving them a good clean before each match. See our referee Scott McMillan comes out. He's setting up the TVs. Got a little system there, aren't they, where each player's basically got their own TV channel. There you go, there's Lee Clough's.
And Ian Whitehorn's on the left has already been set up, so it will be Ian Whitehorn versus Lee Clough. It's an all-English battle, but it's north versus south. It's very much.
Yeah.
Ian from Eastbourne in Sussex, whereas Lee is from Blackpool, known as the Tower.
Yeah,
And,
good 6'4", 6'5". There's no prizes for guessing why it's called the Tower.
Well, talking of nicknames, we should probably mention Ian's.
Oh wow, yeah.
You christened him
I did christen him, yeah.
at the World Championships.
Oh, treat for you guys. Prince William,
The Prince of Poole.
the Prince of Poole.
Is now his
Ian
nickname.
Whitehorn in the blue corner. Mind you, they're both.
And in the other blue corner.
No, in the other blue corner, at the Tower against the Prince. Oh well.
There's a fairy tale in that somewhere.
There's we could go really off topic with that, but let's try and stay with the pool.
Yeah, there's no pool though, so.
There is no pool. It's turned into a podcast all of a sudden. We see. Be good to see, and I think is this his first quarter-final? Your close friends with him.
This is the first time Ian has gone deep in a tournament of this magnitude. Full stop. He did win there was a Southern Pool Series event recently, and he won that. And,
Okay.
but I think up to a couple of years ago, he hadn't really entered many tournaments. He was just a very, very strong local league player.
Yeah, and I remember you telling me about him year and a half, 2 years ago maybe. I think it might have been at the World Championships last year, so maybe a good 15 months ago or something like that. And I remember you telling me about him, but I remember seeing him play thinking, yeah, he looks pretty decent, but it takes people time to find their feet, doesn't it, when you start playing top-level stuff. And I remember thinking, well, is he as good as that? Is it just the fact that he's the best player in your area? Because everyone's great if they're the best player in their area to people in their area, if you know what I mean.
It can be tough to judge sometimes.
And name there, you see the Welsh contingent there. 5 of them in the last 16, 4 of them making it through to the quarterfinals. So Cook, 4 quarterfinalists. So it's Nathan Davis, new name to us. Haven't seen much of him. Was he on the stream table earlier today?
Nathan Davis.
Yeah.
He played Mark Boyle. That was the previous stream game before Shepherd.
Oh,
versus
to
Mark.
this,
So
okay.
we do actually have 2 semi-finalists decided already.
Right.
We may have 3 depending on the result of Church versus Reese, and we don't know the score of that. But this is definitely the quarter-final lineup. So we've got Boyle versus Whitehorn or Clough, and Shepherd versus Church or Reese.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, certainly the bottom half of that draw promises a very, very entertaining game of pool.
Well, I mean, yeah. Look, Jordan Shepherd against Corey Reese will be a great match. Corey's a fantastic player. He's a brilliant player. Jordan Church is the closest thing to Jordan Shepherd, style-wise, that we have in pool.
Well, we saw Jordan Church earlier on the stream, and he looked in very similar form to how Jordan Shepherd just looked. So, for me, that would be the most mouth-watering tie I could think of, to be honest, right now.
At all, over the entire weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It might not be the very best standard.
No, but it'll be.
But it could be. It could be. But it will be the most entertaining. Clash of styles. I say clash of styles. It's Jordan. I mean, they've even got the same name.
It's Church versus Shepherd.
Yeah.
Jordan versus Jordan. But it may be Jordan versus Corey. So we don't know yet.
No, but to be fair, if you were to survey 100 top players and they said who wins out of Jordan Church and Corey Reese, I think you'd get a 50-50. I think that is a proper coin flip of a match.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not scared to put my neck on the line and say that certain players are favourites over others. I do say it, but I think that's a proper 50-50 game. But what semi-final that's going to be.
I think Jordan Church and Corey Reese are both players who are kind of just outside the top 10, probably. They're just not quite consistent enough to be considered in that very, very top elite with Mark Boyle or Jordan Shepherd. If they start winning a couple more tournaments, then they'll definitely be talked about in that bracket. But just now, they're not quite there.
I agree, yeah. I say quite a bit. It's only my opinion, but I think there's a roughly 30 or so players that could win an event now. The strength in depth's that good. You know, when you think of the names that have got nowhere near the last 16 that are previous winners of tournaments, you know, your Clint Andersons, your Liam Dunster, your current world champion, John McAllister. You could keep naming them all day. But I think you're right. If you were to say about a top 8 or 10, maybe Jordan, Church and Corey aren't consistent enough.
They're in that.
They're really close. They're knocking on the door. But a Jordan Shepherd and a Craig Marsh are sort of always there or thereabouts, as is a Mark Boyle.
If you name your top 10, there's probably 5 or 6 players who are constantly there from everyone. And then some would pick Church, some would pick Reese, some would pick that kind of player.
Yeah.
But they're not constantly in that bracket.
No, I think you kind of got that. You've got a big 8 or 10 or so, but that like you say are always there. Raybone is always there or thereabouts. He's always top 4 in the rankings. He seems to have been the last 5 years. And then you've got
Dunster.
Yeah, Ward, Ianson, you know, and then you've got the players like you say. You've got players that if they're on a good run of form, 6 to 9 months, maybe 12 months later, you'll then start to put them in that bracket, but they might fall off again as they lag up. So there's a good 12.5 foot between them there, isn't there? It's a big quarter-final.
It really is, yeah, they are. Neither of these two are small. We need to raise the camera up a little bit. We're losing both their heads in.
You do a little bit, yeah. Well, you're not losing any hair off of Ian, so nothing to be
harsh.
Hey, look, it takes one to know one. Takes one to know one. Great guy, and as well, I noticed about him, and I've noticed it before. He's got a really good temperament. You know, might get disappointed if he misses a ball. We all do, but keeps quite sort of something that I try and make myself do, and just keep yourself on a level. You know, don't try and show too much emotion, get too emotionally involved. And he's got a really good temperament. I see, you know, even just little things like the way he's putting his hands now. That's probably deliberate. Liam Dunster does that.
He studies Dunster, actually, Ian. I've noticed that.
As a pool player, or is it getting weird?
No, he talks about Liam a lot.
Does he?
Yeah, he talks about, like...
Talking about him later, he beat him earlier, didn't he?
Absolutely. But like I say, Ian's just, he's a studious person. He's so focused. And actually, this is a match between two very similar players for me.
Very similar styles, actually. Not negative players at all. Lee Clough actually sort of, I think he gets a little bit of a bad press, you know, because look, he's the first to admit he doesn't play quickly. Won't be much of an issue with this because he's got a 30-second shot clock. He can play quickly. He won a TV event about 8 or 9 years ago, which was a 30-second shot clock. So he can do it. He just takes his time if he's got time to take his time. But he's an aggressive player. If you take the amount of time, or you know, the fact he's quite deliberate and methodical out of it, he's very aggressive in his style of play, Lee Clough. I think Ian's very similar.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I've watched a fair bit of Lee. I've watched more of Ian. And I do think they're pretty similar players. I think the difference for me here is maybe the pressure of the situation. Ian has played on the TV table on the IPA once before, but it was a second round of the World Championship. He was playing Jordan Church. He was a massive second favourite. It was his first IPA event, so he wasn't expected to do anything, and he did play really well.
Yeah.
But this is different. This is an open quarter final.
Yeah, I think you're right, and it is, and Lee Clough's very experienced on the TV tables. He's, like we say, won a TV event. Well, that was quite some time ago now, but he did win the World Seniors Championships, didn't he? Live on TV.
Yeah.
Was it
Twice,
last?
in fact.
Was it
Won the
2
last
years in a
two.
row?
Yeah.
2 years in a row he's won it. Yeah. So he's no stranger to this TV arena, and how that does feel slightly different, especially before you.
Not just that, he won an Open event last season as well. So
Did you? He's a great player.
he's another one of those players that's not necessarily consistently talked about in people's top tens,
No.
but probably should be. That's probably only because he's only been back playing pool on the IPA tour for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah. Now look, this was always going to be the case. He couldn't really get anywhere further than where he's got, so he's just probably going to have to leave himself this black at distance, anywhere down that centre line of the table. He does, he'd be thinking now, do I go adventurous, play off 3 cushions, right cushion, top cushion, left cushion, with run inside and come out towards the very centre of the table, or do you just guarantee yourself a shot and leave a bit more distance? Yeah, he's just leaving himself a shot. It's a bit old school, Lee. If you can leave yourself a shot, just leave it.
He didn't like it though.
No, well,
Big puff of the cheeks.
yeah, he's just gathering himself for it. He knew he was going to leave it. It's a big moment. Hell of a pause there, but perfection.
Yeah, they really were. You could sort of feel the tension rising. He spent so long down.
Wondering if he had the yips.
Yeah.
He just he couldn't deliver the cue, but rock steady. Textbook cue action. Lee Clough, very accomplished snooker player, and very good cueist, all-round cueist. And I think he's one of the people you probably would want on a black like that. He's, every confidence in him. See our referee. Just making sure all the balls are touching. Now we're going to get a chance to see this break that I admired and hated at the same time. Just only 3 or 4 hours ago from Ian. Second ball down, and watch this bottom left-hand corner pocket and the left middle. Yeah, nothing in either of them. There you go. Let's drop the
I'm
mic.
so disappointed.
Let's get out of here.
I've never seen someone try to call the break before, to be fair.
I've called it. I saw it all morning. The one time he doesn't do it is when I'm sort of telling people he's going to do it.
It's one of those things, though, and I think it's something that Ian might have to adjust pretty quickly. The TV table does play different to the other tables.
Does every table seems to break a little bit different to the next one.
Yeah. But I think this
But it's
table
like-
more so because it gets so much less use.
Yeah.
The other tables,
And-
people will be practicing on across the weekend, or late at night. People, when all the games are finished, people are going to have a knock. This one only gets used for this.
Yeah, and it also has more light on it, so it can potentially sort of dry it out a little bit and make it play that little bit quicker. We're only talking minor fractions here, but it does make all the difference.
Either way, it's not the start that Ian Whitehorn will have wanted for this match. It's going to be break dish and very possibly reverse dish. He might be 2-0 down without having made a mistake.
I think you're right. I think the yellow in the middle of the table that looks surrounded by reds actually does just go into this bottom right-hand corner pocket, which is playing a cannon if that goes right, which it might not have done. He's put his hand up. I think it has.
Yeah, I think it has too. I think I'm not sure it's perfect, but I think it will drop in.
Yeah, I think he's fine. He's put his hand up to apologise to Ian. Didn't want the yellow to go that far down, basically. He's not necessarily played it badly or wrong. He's just he's overhit
He
it.
didn't want it to flirt with the red, though.
No,
It
yeah.
could have gone wrong.
You see Lee just getting a skip on there. 30-second shot clock. Twinkle Toes Tower. Nice little hop, skip and a jump, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Still got a turn of pace in him.
Jump.
Got a turn of pace in him at 47 years old.
He still doesn't like this, you know.
Can't believe he's 47.
No, he doesn't look a day over.
Doesn't know. There's no way he did a paper round. No way. No, just a little bit that I'm sure he'll be fine, but he can't. If he's topping this through, he's going dangerously close to the Reds on the way back out. So doesn't want to flick a red on the way back up. No, you see that the amount of check side he played on that. Played really well. And this will be 2-0. Flawless start. We've not seen anything from Ian yet, have we? So
well, you can only do what you can do, and he's just got to hope he gets the chances.
yeah. Worry about what you can control, not what you can't. Very confidently played. Lee Clough 2-0.
Yeah, a very good start from Lee Clough. But you have to say he hasn't really had any work to do yet in any major fashion. It's been solid and it's been very good and very enjoyable, but
Yeah, I
hasn't
think
had
like
any tricky balls to
no,
really worry about.
he hasn't had tough finishes, no. But like all these great players, they make these. Other people out in that arena would have made that look more difficult than it was. It's a very simple game, and the very best players do keep it simple. I'm going to see Lee Clough break again. Uses a break cue. Ian doesn't. Well, that was a poor break from Lee Clough because it went straight in off that middle pocket. It wasn't kicked in off like they often are.
No, just bad cueing, really.
Yeah, just bad execution, and this is a lovely chance to get yourself off the mark. What a chance this is for me, and he's spoilt for choice.
I sort of think there's a little bit of pressure on this because it's so easy.
Yeah, and
This is kind of a make or break.
you see there he's already called for his extension. Got 30-second extension, he's already called for it. Not saying he's panicking, of course, but it does fluster you. The first time you play with that shot clock, it really does fluster you. But you will soon get used to it. Yeah, look, that's nicely done. Just about from Ian, and these are.
It is just about. I think he called it a
Just
fraction thing. He'd been okay if he'd potted that and the cue ball hadn't quite run so far, but he's still absolutely fine.
Well, luckily it's stopped up as well, held up as well. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to get through. This is the only yellow he could pot. The one he's just made there, but right. Here's your chance, Ian, to get your first frame on the board. I said earlier, it's nice to see a new face in the quarterfinals, isn't it? I think he is well, I suppose him and Nathan Davies actually, two new players to the tour quarterfinals.
Yeah,
Definitely not been there before. It's good to see.
I mean, I've seen Nathan Davis quite a lot in previous tours, but I don't think he's ever quite got to that stage.
No, not so far. You see from the way he played today and his results, he's not there by fluke. Great young player.
If you're in this situation, your first IPA quarter-final, and you, certainly from Ian's perspective, I think this is probably his first time past the last 32 in the Open. So this is seriously uncharted territory. He struggled with injury last season in his first season. First event in the second season, and look at what he's doing. It's brilliant. But in this sort of situation, if you lose, would you rather Lee just played perfect pool, or would you rather you got a chance but didn't quite take it, and you'd come back the next time?
What,
Stronger
having
for it.
learned for it, yeah. Look, here he's almost messing these up. I can feel his pain. I think he feels a little bit rushed. I think he feels a little bit rushed here. You can just see, like I said before, he's not a slow player, but he's methodical, and a 30-second shot clock is a real shock to the system.
Yeah.
And I'll be quite confident in saying he probably hasn't played under that before. It's nicely done, just about. He's just sort of
Nice little flick on the
scraping
red.
his way through this finish, isn't he? But he needs this to settle himself down. 2-1. In answer to your question, I would rather just get sort of blown off the table, because there's nothing worse than losing a match where you can think back to 2 or 3 things that you did wrong. Losing a match 7-2 to someone that's just played brilliantly is kind of just, yeah, well, it happens. You know, I'm going to get my fair share, or I do that to people, and that's Paul. But yeah, nothing worse than losing a match where you've had chances. And yeah, it's no disgrace to lose to another good player comfortably. So I'd rather that, to be honest.
Yeah, you know, I completely understand that.
But you're not going to have a sleepless night over losing 7-2 to Jordan Shepherd in top form.
No.
Where all you've done is had a few couple of dry breaks.
Yeah.
But you are going to lose sleep if you miss chances at 5-all, or, you know, or to go 6 each, or in a deciding frame.
Well, you called it the first time and he didn't make it, but that time he did.
He did, and I think he noticeably hit them a little bit softer.
Yep.
So maybe danger signs for Lee Clough. He's found the break. And you see on the left-hand side, I think we're going to see him take yellows. I think the shot is probably going to be to cut the yellow into the left middle, and just disturb the yellow on the left-hand side that doesn't go. Maybe cushion first and poke the red out of the way.
Yeah, he'd be happy if he could get the red out of the way of all of those yellows, but that might be a bit of a tall order in one shot.
Well, if he can flick it half ball, 3/4 ball, even full ball, he took his eye off the pot. Ian, what have you done?
Oh, he doesn't show a lot of emotion, Ian, as a player, but he's definitely feeling the pressure out there.
Yeah, he showed it there. Again, he might have just felt a little bit rushed. He seemed to get down quite. Once he was down, he played it quite quickly. Time was running out.
This isn't a especially nice table for Lee, though.
No, he hasn't left absolute gimmies, which often you do when you see a little grimace from Leader. I think he was trying to play into the
He was
yellow and
definitely
black.
trying to move the yellow and 2 yellows and the black. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he might be on the yellow that's dead straight. Possibly to play that off the red in this corner, or cut it in the centre.
He's cutting it in the middle and going into these 2 yellows.
This is tight.
No, he's missed the ball.
And he's fouled.
Disaster.
Well, lifeline for Ian Whitehorn then.
Yeah, still not an easy finish or an easy table here. And you say with this 30-second shot clock, it can.
Yeah, no, this is the right shot for me though. If he can get this red that he's closest to up to the corner pocket, all of a sudden, if he can get it over the corner pocket, these reds rather.
He's playing it into the yellow.
I mean, it will do.
It'll do, yeah, it'll do. The red that's a problem at the very bottom of the table, obviously it does plant quite easily. So other red's making it much easier, but he would have loved that red that, if he could maybe have played that red that he just did a little bit softer and left it over that corner pocket. If I'm perfect on it, I'm half tempted to play the double here into the left middle.
Same.
Because the position is guaranteed. The key to this frame is getting on that red. Well, to be fair, the black only goes in 1 or 2 pockets as well. Just getting on this red at the bottom of the table. Needs to get across. He has.
That's a really nicely controlled shot, actually.
Nicely controlled, yep.
Now, where are you taking the black, though? It is tricky to get on that black.
Yeah. I think the obvious one is the bottom right corner pocket where he's going to play this plant into, but tough to get on this last red. I think the pot's easy into the bottom right corner pocket, but it's how you get on this last red.
Could he potentially cut this red in really thin and actually go into those 2 yellows on the black?
Well, no, I don't think he's going to. In an ideal world, depends how thin it is. I mean, he'll know better than us because he's right beyond the shot. We're about to find out. He's played your shot.
He's got really unlucky as well.
Yeah.
You didn't like that shot.
No, it was a tough finish. Ideally, you'd have wanted the white just. You'd have wanted to have been straight on the red into the left middle because you could have topped it through. But with the angle he had, it was so hard to play that shot. I think he did do the right thing, given what he had to work with.
Well, this is tough.
Oh wow, what an effort! It's a great effort just to hit it.
Yeah, that would have been that would have been candidate for shot of the decade, I think. Nevertheless, it is Lee Clough who comes to the table with an opportunity to extend his lead. He's 2-1 up at the moment. He's going to start us off with a safety.
Yeah.
I understand that shot, but I mean, is he just giving Ian a chance to do something here?
In my opinion, yeah. If he goes from there, he's going to get them 9 times out of 10. Jordan Shepherd would have gone for it from there. If you were watching that last match, you'll probably understand why I was saying that. I think, yeah, he's just giving Ian a chance to fluke it, really.
That's actually a really good shot.
Well, here's the other problem is, I mean, you know, Lee's now got a problem area, whereas he didn't before.
Yeah.
Although he is still in complete control of this frame. It's a little bit brave, queuing off the cushion. I thought he might have just played a snooker in this top left corner pocket. That's a good job that right there.
I'm totally with you, actually. Having played the snooker in the previous shot.
Yeah. I mean, negative in one sense, and
Yeah.
then ultra aggressive in the next shot. But
I mean, he's good enough here, to be fair. He should take these out all day long.
He's fine, I'm sure he'll clear these up. I think they all go now. I think the yellow goes into the left middle, as does the black. They all go. It's just a case of controlling the white and picking these off. Is it?
Don't get it. Don't get it. Everything went. It was easy.
Everything went, yeah. It's often a little bit of a sign of people that aren't confident when they try and break balls out when they can land on them, but I struggle to believe that Lee Clough's not very confident, although it is amazing sometimes the chats you have with players that you think are invincible and they say, oh, I'm just struggling at the moment. You think, oh, I wish I was playing like that and struggling. I mean, but he has, because that's a poor one. That's a bad one.
Yeah, this is very missable, because I think he's got to take the yellow in the top half of the table. I don't think one passes the other to the bottom left.
If it does, he hasn't got a full pocket, and if you haven't got a full pocket at distance, you don't want to be playing it. I think you've got to play. The problem is as well, if he cuts this in the left middle, unless he plays it at quite some pace, the white's going to be going pretty much back to where it is now.
Yeah, he's going to have to hit it hard.
Yeah, which makes it even more difficult. So you can see there, he's just lining it up.
He fancies it. He must pass or he's playing a plant, but I can't believe he'd play the plant.
He'd cut it in over the plant, surely. He's played the plant. Well.
I'm genuinely stunned at that.
Yeah.
And I think he's come out just about okay. If that yellow stops half an inch short and he's straight on this, he's in trouble.
Look, everyone goes their own way and sees the game differently. He's played a great shot, let's be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant shot. Big points in this match because this is for a 3-1 lead. Stunned over dangerously close to that left middle pocket, but executed it perfectly. We're just going to see him raise the butt of the cue here to get over left-hand side and play the black into the right middle, I guess. Oh, I'm guessing it goes. No, it doesn't go right middle, does it?
Goes.
He's done it. Wow, he's not got into it enough.
He's making work of this.
Exactly. I was just took the words out of my mouth. I mean, this was quite an easy finish, and he's run out of position 3 or 4 times. But still a 9 out of 10 black for Lee Clough to take a 3-1 lead.
Solid as you like, but you have to say you couldn't say that about the rest of the visit. However, Lee Clough does extend his lead. He leads Ian Whitehorn by 3 frames to 1.
Mark of a great player in it, really. Looked in great form first couple of frames. Then it goes 2-1. And then in that last frame, they're really chasing the clearance. The white not on a string like it was in the first couple of frames, but he still finds a way to get them. And so I think they talk about it in football, don't they? Winning ugly. You know, sometimes you look great winning frames. Other times you just need to tough it out. And I'm not. The cue ball's a little bit all over the place, but getting them can sometimes be more satisfying than the easy finishes. He'll feel good now. 3-1.
They're certainly the finishes that hurt your opponent.
Oh, nearly last ball going, but last ball rolling in the top right corner, but nothing down, and Ian's back with a tough chance.
Yeah, it's very tough. Every time I look at the table, I see another problem here for either colour, really. I think he's got to go yellows. I don't think he can. I don't think he can see a red to start with, to be honest.
No, he's too close to the red that he's next to at the right at the moment. Now, he's got an angle to go into the red and yellow, top left corner.
Yeah, if he can cut this back thin to the top right, and get into that yellow, and it comes out nicely, then he's only got one more problem to solve. And to be fair, it's not that much of a problem because it's a nice ball to double.
No, true. I think he needs to place a little bit of pace to get it out. He's played it well, yeah. I like that. But, I mean, look, it's not come out perfect, but you see some people try and play that almost too well. I think sometimes it's unlikely that it's going to come out good. If you just go into it, or it's hard to execute, you need to take your chance a bit more, play a bit more pace.
He's a bit unlucky for it to finish right on the cushion, though.
Yeah, look, it's a horrible finish to be looking at, and he's actually playing this almost like with a bit of insurance. He's just about, no, he's not quite covered the corner pocket there. Not quite covered the corner.
I have to say, I think there was a bit of movement on that shot.
There was a little bit, wasn't there? Seemed to move then straighten up a little bit. But for me, I don't think I'd have gone that way. I'd have played the yellow in the right middle.
No, I can see that.
Myself a double, but I can see why he's played what he's played. And Lee Clough, if he's got, I think he's got a full pocket, or he can, if he goes off the jaw, the bottom left-hand corner pocket, he's.
Oh, that definitely goes.
I think it goes, yeah. So
it's all on this shot for me, whether he gets this red out.
Yeah, if this comes out good, and it hasn't really. Others might have played that at a bit more pace, or we saw Craig Marsh played a shot earlier with loads of running sides. I think if you can go into a ball with running side, you're more likely to get the cue ball out. I think there was an argument of playing that a little bit more pace because he's got so many reds that he can land on, wherever the white goes. But he's still at the table.
This needs to run.
Oh, I think he's just about okay. I think he ideally probably was playing it in the left middle, but he's just about on it. It's just horribly close to it.
Yeah, going to need some. The ref's going to have to get pretty close here to make sure there's no double hit.
He is. Played that really well. It's a great shot from Lee Clough. He's almost played it too well, if anything. He's got further up the table than he probably imagined he could.
Yeah, he's not left actually a particularly nice shot on.
No, he can play this with bottom left-hand side and come back out towards the centre of the table. Doesn't want to flick this other red on the way back out. No, he's played it well. He's played it very well. The only thing here is that black doesn't go into the bottom right-hand corner pocket.
I don't think it goes into the bottom left, although it might go cushion first off the yellow.
Yeah, or he can play it off the knuckle, off the yellow. But if he's got the angle, I think the shot's probably going to be to come all the way down table to play the black into the right middle pocket. Certainly got the angle. Anything but short. Doesn't want to be hampered queuing. He's looking away. He looked away there in disgust or in almost anticipation of being hampered queuing, and he is a little bit.
It could be a lot worse.
It could be worse. And he is the tower, after all.
Yep.
So. Rock steady queuing there from the tower. Takes a 4-1 lead. Ian Whitehorn needs to get a grip of this match.
He does.
He does.
He hasn't played his best stuff so far.
No.
But every time he's come to the table, there's always been something.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Just enough to put you off when you're not in that rhythm and you're not in that perfect form.
I think the start of matches make... I'm sort of stating the obvious here, but the start of matches, the first frame or two, can be crucial. Just settling down. Lee cleared off his break and off of Ian's dry break, which it just settles him down straight away. And yeah, I think you could see just Ian's kind of just fighting his way back into this match. He did go 2-1, but he hasn't looked anywhere near like he played against me, and he clearly must have played really well against Liam Dunster. And he's made that ball. That killer break he's got where he makes a ball in the left middle or left corner. He's done it, but the white's been kicked in off.
That's actually horrendous.
Yeah, that's hot.
Horrible.
That is bad luck. We saw Lee Clough going off earlier, and it was just a bad break. Went into the right middle pocket.
Yeah, that one not quite so.
No, but
not the same story.
That's the risk you take. With that cut break, we call it a cut break, where you don't hit the head ball. That is the risk you take. The white is always going to get bumped and bounced around more often than if you do the front on break. So it is a risk you take. You know, it's rougher the smooth, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ian will know that.
Yeah. Well, like you say, a student of the game, studies the game. Lee Clough is going to be taking yellows here. He's got one obvious problem, which is on this left-hand side cushion. I think he's going to be leaving himself the angle to break that out off of the very next shot. So yellow into the bottom left corner pocket, screwing straight up into that yellow, above it as we look on. He gets that right, it's 5-1.
Yeah, it's just all about getting this right for pace. You don't want to hit this too well so that it welds itself to the cushion again.
No, and he might want it to be just a little bit closer to it as well. That's perfect.
Look at that.
That is perfection. And now it's just his option here. Does he play yellow bottom left first or yellow right middle first? He's only got 30 seconds to decide.
I think it's bottom left for me.
Well, he's not sure. You can see the amount of time
it's
he's taking.
It's difficult to get on this ball again.
Yeah. Pace of this is crucial. Perfect. Perfect. He's really good at them shots, Lee Clough. His touch. When he's at his best, his touch is immaculate around the table.
But
You
again,
see just a bit of a shorter backswing because he didn't need all that power. And he couldn't have placed it any better with his hand. Yeah. Didn't want to.
come a bit far there.
He has. It was almost as if he was scared of under hitting it, so he's thought, well, I'll still have a shot if I. You could be careful. He's putting him into the side of the middle pocket. They can spit them back out. Yeah, and he's fine. He's left himself a little bit more distance, but this is a 99 out of 100 for someone of Lee Clough's calibre.
There we have it. The red dropping in doesn't matter. That is a combination shot. Lee's hit his ball first and potted it, so he can pot his opponent's ball in the same shot. For those of you who are unfamiliar with black ball rules and may think he's just lost the frame.
No, that is indeed 5-1 to Lee Clough, and I think we used the word solid, didn't we, earlier? We were talking about the flamboyance of Jordan Church and Jordan Shepherd. As you might have seen earlier, Jordan Church is now in the semi-final, so he will be playing Jordan Shepherd. What a match that is going to be. Oh, wow. What for a neutral, for a Pool fan.
Yeah, you've got to watch that one. If you're looking at this and thinking, oh, I've got to go out in a minute, don't go out.
No, don't go. There's no point. And don't make a cup of tea either, because you'll miss 3 or 4 frames.
Yeah, make a cup of tea at the end of this one.
At the end of this one, yeah.
Then it will still be hot by the time the next match is finished.
They are rapid. Even if you don't like, you know, the people that don't like cricket, but they'll watch T20 and go, oh, this is all right.
Yes.
You know, but they swear blind they hate cricket. But they'll sit and watch a T20 game, you know, when they need 20 balls off 10, 20 runs off 10 balls.
It's exciting.
If you just give it a go. If you don't enjoy watching Jordan Shepherd against Jordan Church, then fair enough, pool's just not for you. But neither's sport.
It's a very fair point.
No.
Can't argue with it.
Right. Now, Lee Clough's in again first. Just one bad ball and a good couple of options to get into it.
Not even that bad either.
Oh, wow, in fact, he's going reds. I was looking at yellows.
Oh, no. I see what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, that's how easy this table is. He
Yeah.
can go both. I think, actually, like you say, the reds are all there. The reds all go. They just need to be picked off. The only thing that could perhaps go wrong is he's going to play the red top right corner after this one into the middle. It's just getting from that onto his next red. It's just moving that white ball back down the table after this shot. There's a little bit of danger there. If he gets that right, this frame is as good as done. It's been a real kind of what you might call just an experienced performance, you know.
Yeah.
We know they're both very good players. You might have given Lee Clough the edge at the start of this match, but it really would just have been on experience.
But I think it is that experience that's shown. I think Ian hasn't, although Ian hasn't had the chances, and he took his chance when he got it. He probably should have taken the next one. Since then, he's had nothing at all.
No, yes, you're exactly right. And Lee's got a couple of, even just that first black that he left at distance at 0-0.
Yeah,
they're nervy ones, you know, and that was heart of the pocket. Yeah, he's just timing. Do you know what I mean? Everything that he's just not put a foot wrong, really, has he?
Thing is, that one shot can make a difference. That one bad shot that Ian played in the third or fourth frame, you know, that where he probably should have won that frame and he didn't end up winning that frame. Yeah. That's the difference between 2-2 and 3-1.
Yeah, but psychologically it almost means double that. Almost counts for 2 frames.
Lee then break dishes and then it's another frame as well and it just piles on.
Which I think he did.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Doesn't want to be straight. He is. Oh well, he's actually
perfect.
Yeah, I think he's just come a little bit too far, if anything, and
But now he can just stun it back and it'll be off the cushion for the black to the centre.
Yeah. It's been a real masterclass this from Lee Clough. Now he isn't as close to that as he wanted to be.
He's fine.
He's fine.
I'm all for building up drama, but he looks supreme. He looks in brilliant form.
He looks in great form. Somebody's going to have to play very, very well to beat Lee Clough if he continues in this form. That is 6-1, just one away from booking his place in the semi-finals.
Lee, who went out of the professional event on Friday in the first round, was absolutely livid with himself. I saw a post on social media that was, I won't repeat, but wasn't great. Was very, very angry.
Right.
With his own performance. And then wakes up the next morning and goes, right, now I'm going to win the Open then.
Do you know what? You half wonder sometimes if people do that sort of stuff on purpose to G themselves up, because when he won the tour, he won a tour event last year.
He did.
I don't remember the exact timing of it, whether it was the day before in the pro event. I think it might have been that. It might have been the same thing. Lost in his pro event on the Friday night, played awful. And then, so for you guys that don't know, you have an amateur-only event, a professional-only event, and then the Open that everybody's in. So arguably, the Open's harder to win than the Pro, because there's so many good amateurs. So Ian makes that ball again, left middle pocket. Yeah, he did the same thing. I'm sure he did, just on social media, just cursing. You know, he loves his ball, he really does care, and cursing that he's just, you know, is my time up? You know, am I past it? That sort of thing. Goes and wins the Open the next day. Plays great. You half wonder if they do it sometimes just to wind themselves up.
The thing with this break by Ian is that, okay, it seems to guarantee a ball. Like you said, left centre, left corner. Very good. Doesn't guarantee a good split. Doesn't guarantee a good cue ball.
No. I was speaking to a guy called Dylan Leary at the World Championships. He beat me in the World Championships. We had a deciding frame and the deciding set. And I know him really well. We're good mates off the table kind of thing. He lives quite close to me. And he does the cut break. And he said it's two-pronged for him. He does like to think that when he's breaking well, we can make a ball into that left middle pocket. But when he doesn't make a ball, he knows he's fully aware, as a lot of people are when they use the cut break, he's fully aware that if he doesn't make a ball, the table's normally a little bit more messy. And it's a deliberate thing. There's two reasons why he does it. Yep, feels that he can, if he's nailing it, he can make a ball into the left middle. But he also knows it doesn't give you as good a split, but he's kind of quite happy with that in a way.
Ian's going about his business really nicely here.
Yeah, I think he has got that perfect angle he wants as well, just ever so slightly off straight. He needs to play the red nearest that black into the right corner pocket, top right corner pocket. I think he's got the perfect angle. It's just all about the pace. Oh, wow, he's at it.
Didn't have the perfect angle.
No, he didn't have the perfect angle. Trying to, like you say, pinch the pocket. And we say that because you can play the ball into the left or right hand side of the pocket to just create a little bit more angle than's actually there, than what's natural, and he's trying to do that. And
for me, that was all coming back to that break. Because he didn't get the cue ball out from the break, although he made the balls, he was forced to go reds. And because he was forced to go reds, he was forced into doing something about that red at the top of the table next to the black. And there were no other reds around it because it wasn't a big split.
Yeah, you're right. It just
piled up on him.
It's just one of them. He hasn't. He's lost 7-1 here. He's probably going to lose 7-1 here. He hasn't played badly.
No.
You know, he's missed some tough stuff. It's not, you know, he'd have played worse than this and won before.
100%.
You know, it's just been a real masterclass from Lee Clough. Really clinical. Real. If you were sort of coaching people, you'd, you might say Jordan Shepherd was better to watch. He was, but there'll be some people out there that prefer to watch Lee Clough.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
might sound like a surprise, but they appreciate that. Look how angry he is at 6-1 up, right? Talking to himself, muttering to himself.
Yeah, he's annoyed at himself.
He's so angry with himself because he's left himself the wrong angle. That's what a perfectionist he is, and that's why he's so good.
The good thing for Ian is I know he's one of those people that would rather watch Lee Clough.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I mean, like you say, he sort of kind of studies Liam Dunster as opposed to studying. You know, if you're going to study someone, you might assume that they would study a more flamboyant player.
I actually disagree. I actually think if you're going to get better at this game, Clough, Dunster, these are the players you need to watch. These are the players who will improve your game. Once you're at a certain level, then maybe start watching.
You're exactly right. Yeah, if it's about learning, I mean, don't go anywhere near Jordan Shepherd, because if you try and copy what he does, you're just going to get frustrated. But yeah, if it's about perfection and learning to be a master of the game or whatever, then yeah, you watch your Lee Cloughs, your Neil Raybones, your Mark Boyles, your Liam Dunsters, and so on. But as we say here, though, Lee's run out of position here. He's having to go up the table, I think, to leave him. Oh, look at that! Look at the Q power he's got there. He's generated there. That's a great shot from Lee Clough. Yeah. What a performance!
Really is a brilliant performance from Lee Clough. He runs out a 7-1 winner over Ian Whitehorn. A superb performance from the tower. He will be through to the semi-finals, where he will face Scotland's Mark Boyle. Now, we do know for certain that won't be our next match-up, because our next match-up will be the one we have been waiting for and we have been talking up. It will be Jordan Shepherd against Jordan Church, and what a match that promises to be.
This is Paul's equivalent of pay-per-view, I think, these two. They play so quickly, but they've just got such a, like you say, it's a controlled aggression. You know, they're aggressive, they're great to watch, but they do it at such a pace, a bit like you say, like Ronnie O'Sullivan, you know. This is the equivalent of watching Ronnie against Trump, if you're to compare it to other Q sports. It really is. Style of play, there's nothing close. They are brilliant.
AJV Fury. It's the one everyone wants to see.
Well, you know, at least people are seeing sport this weekend on BBC.
That is true.
There's not a lot else on, is there? Not a lot else with all this, what's going on with the coronavirus at the moment. But glad we can be here whilst we are. Whilst we, I think you sort of worry a little bit, didn't you? The next tour's in May. And what with these events being, 200 plus people as a gathering, you know, I know it's something we probably don't necessarily want to talk about. But
I think it's something the powers that be are going to have to think about.
Well, talking of powers that be, I think Lee Clough is ready for a chat with our chairman, Kev Barton, so we're just going to hand you over now.
Do you know when they choose the
we're on. Lee, fantastic performance, 7-1 victory against Ian, who's obviously done a fantastic job to get to the quarters, but you must be absolutely delighted. Tell us about the match.
Yeah, I played really well. I don't often say that, but I don't think I did a lot wrong. Like, you know, I think I did get the big majority of the good first chances, which obviously helps. But yeah, just pleased to somehow still be in the tournament.
Well, you seem to be playing better and better as the deeper you get into the tournament. Does it feel that way to you? It's certainly from watching. It looked like you were really getting into your stride in that match.
Yeah, I didn't have much confidence first round last night and this morning, but once I got through them, I seem to have played quite well. Yeah, I don't really enjoy the 30 seconds, but it does. If the balls are there, it does keep your momentum going, and sometimes I think it might be a help rather than a hindrance.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you have got previous of winning events with the 30-second shot clock, so it's something that you must be pretty comfortable with.
I wouldn't say comfortable, but like I say, if the balls are there, it's fine. It's just when frames are scrappy or you land in a bad spot, 30 seconds just isn't long enough sometimes. You know, you end up rushing a shot and playing a bad shot, but fortunately, there's not been too many of them so far.
No, pretty clinical. Semi-final time coming up a little bit later against Mark Boyle. What can we expect in that match?
Well, hopefully a good performance from me. I expect a good performance from him. Just hope to play well, and if it's not good enough, it's not good enough, but hopefully it will be.
And if you are victorious tonight, you know, and winning the first major title of the season after, you know, on the tour, you know, what would that mean to you?
Well, everything. Yeah, I'd be blown away if I was to win. I didn't expect to win one last year, so if I win one this year as well, then I'll be made. I might even buy you a pint.
Well, you heard that. You heard that, everyone. I've known you for about 30 years, Lee. I've never heard you say that. First semi-final coming up now, John Shepherd, Jordan Church. Obviously going to be a fast affair. Will you have one eye on that? Will you watch it or take yourself away from the arena?
One eye on it, yeah. I mean, it could literally be like a 45-minute match, couldn't it? I won't go too far, just in case.
Unlike earlier. But anyway, well played, Lee, in the semis. Good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, Kev.
Well
Cheers,
done.
thank you.
Yeah, fantastic performance there from Lee Clough. He marches into the semi-final where he'll take on Scotland's Mark Boyle. Coming up now, we've got the battle of the two Jordans, Jordan Church, John Shepherd. This is going to be full on. It's going to be fast. It's not going to last long, so don't blink. Anyway, let's get back to the comms of the two Dans, Dan Fairway and Dan Davey.
3 matches in a row. This is a record, isn't it?
Time's flying by. They've been great matches, and well, I'd commentate on this for. I am commentating on it for free.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, but
Yeah. I was gonna, we both are. So let's-
this is the games that you want to watch as a neutral.
Yeah.
That if you don't, like I said before, if you don't enjoy this, then Paul's not for you, I'm afraid.
No, like you say, it's the equivalent of pay-per-view, and I would pay to watch this.
I really would. I really would. You just see there, our table technician doing a great job again, just making sure this table's in spotless condition before this all starts. See, referee Ben. How do you pronounce his surname? Fuente.
I believe it's Ben Taylor Fuente.
Ben Taylor Fuente.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds very lovely, doesn't it?
It sounds like a resort in Spain.
Yeah.
Where have you been on holiday? I've been to Ben Taylor Fuente.
As opposed to, where have you been on holiday? I've been to Jordan Church. It doesn't quite work, does it?
I think Jordan Church sort of does.
It does a little bit, yeah.
It does, yeah.
Jordan Church is where you'd go to eat in Ben Taylor Fuente. Wow. Sit tight.
They even lagged quickly.
Yeah. They even came out quicker than everyone else.
Yeah, they did, yeah. This is going to be close. It's going to be Sheppy.
Yeah.
Now, Jordan Shepherd's break in his match against Craig Marsh earlier was brilliant.
That was very good. Does use a break cue, quite similar to the other game actually, that the last match we saw. Lee Clough and Ian Whitehorn. Jordan Shepherd uses a break cue. Jordan Church doesn't. So, be interesting to see how that pans out. I'm not quite sure really out of these two who's got the best break. I think they're both quite good breaks, aren't they?
To be honest, it's not a part of their game that you focus on.
No, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, by saying, you're probably worth pointing out, I suppose, that you'd say neither of them have got a great break, as in top 5. You know, a Tom Cousins break, a Jack Whelan break.
Yeah.
None of them have got one of the very best breaks, but neither of them, it's not a weakness either, is it?
No, it's not like, I guess the most famous example is Mark Farnsworth, who's brilliant with his hand on the table, but
yeah,
his break is a letdown.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
What's that cue ball? Oh my word.
Well, you don't see that very often. Oh my God. Well.
Well, if I was gonna, if anyone was gonna clear up from here, it'd be Jordan Shepherd. But
could he play the plant first? If the yellow's touching the red, he's gonna have to clip it, isn't he? He's just gonna have to.
The thing is, he's kind of, whichever way he plays this shot, he's gonna have to jack the cue right up and dig at it.
Even Jordan Shepherd's asked for an extension there.
If Jordan Shepherd asks for an extension and then plays a safety shot,
You can't play safe from there.
You-
I mean,
apparently you can.
well, that's not safe.
It's not, no.
Let me tell you, that is not safe. But I see Jordan Church is going to, we'll have to go Reds. He's just going to, the only sort of problem area he's got is the one he's at. So he's going to, you can see he's saying, does he want to clip that yellow on the way out? Is he going to go cushion first? He is, but he's left not a lot.
He's left a double.
The double's his only option. If he gets it, might well be frame over.
I sort of think it's frame over either way here. It's just that one way Jordan Church wins and one way Jordan Shepherd wins.
I'll make you right. These are big moments early in this match. Nowhere near.
No, it's a long way away. I'll tell you what,
We're not going to see it.
he hasn't left anything on. Jordan Shepherd is going to play an extension and a safety shot from Jordan Shepherd in the first frame.
It might be the last extension he uses and the last safety shot he plays, or the only one in the entire match. That sort of player.
It wouldn't necessarily surprise me if it was the entire tournament. I don't. Obviously, we haven't watched all of his games, but
Well, he's
not
he will
bad.
take that. That's the best he could have hoped for from there. Would have been to have tied either the black up or one of Jordan's yellows up. But still, Jordan Shepherd in control of this frame.
So Jordan presumably will be leaving the single yellow in the bottom end of the table to break out the black.
Yeah, maybe getting the white over on the right-hand side of the table. So anywhere near this right middle pocket, so you can cut the yellow into the bottom left corner pocket and go into the red and black together. I think it's actually a plant as well, so you could see a 2-in-1 combination shot to actually win the frame as your last shot.
I think if it wasn't a plant, he might be thinking about some sort of different route, because under normal circumstances you wouldn't want to break out the black with your last yellow.
No, yeah, it's fraught with a little bit of danger, but sometimes you just kind of got to assess the table and think, look, there is no perfect solution here. I just need to leave myself something.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is if he does get into the red and black, then he's going to be pushing the black closer to the yellow.
Yeah, he's overhit
closer to
that.
the corner pocket, rather.
He's overhit that. He wanted that cue ball to drop a foot short so he could just stun up the right-hand side of the table. He's going to have to top this through now. The top right-hand side to bring it round. Again, didn't want to be queuing off this cushion.
Now this is a bit nasty, because if he doesn't catch this quite right, the cue ball might slide behind that red.
Yeah, this is far from easy. He's played well. He's played it really well.
Just about.
Just about. He can cut this in. So watch where that white ball's going. He's fine. Typical Jordan Shepherd finish. Typical. He's so different to what we saw there with Lee Clough in that last match, you know.
Yep.
Lee Clough slightly out of position. He's fuming with himself, and Jordan runs out of position and just goes, that's all right, I'll recover it. I'll find a way. And as he often does.
Yeah, he is a remarkably talented young man, is Jordan Shepherd.
Played snooker with him once in my entire life. Only had about 3 or 4 frames, and one of the frames he was on 10 reds, 10 blacks. He was considering going Q school. He's actually Ryan Day's cousin.
Really?
Yep, Ryan Day's cousin.
To be fair, I think you find that with most of these players.
What, that they're Ryan Day's cousin?
That they're very good snooker players.
Yeah, a lot of them are. Yeah, come from a bit of or not necessarily a snooker background, because I think it sounds a little bit like as if tried to make it and didn't and stuff like that. But
I think that's true for quite a few.
some of them. But we've all. It's Q sport, isn't it? So we've all played snooker.
I don't think that cheapens this sport in any way. I think
No, they're just
I
different.
think they're very different. for those of you who are sort of first-time viewers of the IPA or sort of, you haven't watched that much pool, we should point out that we've had quite a few of the top professional snooker players enter these tournaments, and none of them have ever won one.
No, or even been close to.
No.
I think we had Mark Allen.
Last 16,
a couple of times Mark Allen's, but Tony Drago.
Yep. Jamie Burnett.
Jamie Burnett played in the World Championships. I actually beat Jamie Burnett in the World Championships.
Well done.
I thought I had a real bum draw, and I played really well against him. And this year, since I was speaking to him quite a bit, he plays a lot of he plays a lot of pool now, or started to play a lot more pool. But one of the reasons he quit snooker is he had problems with his back. So it wasn't sort of in too much pain playing snooker. It was the 4 or 5 hours practice a day that he felt he needed to do to be able to compete. That was what he couldn't do because of his back. So that was why he quit snooker maybe a few years before others do. Still only in his 40s, but he's good friends with Scott Gillespie.
Yep.
Jamie Bennett, he often travels with him. But he won the Scottish pool singles this year. I think he beat Liam Dunster in the final or the semis. I can't remember which one now. Great player.
Absolutely. And again, I remember actually it was my first season on the IPA, and I was playing. It would have been one of Jamie Bennett and Scott Gillespie's friends, and sat watching my game, like very, very fresh faced, hardly played that much, top level pool at all. And I had that's a great shot. I had Stephen Maguire, Jason Shaw.
I knew you were going to say Steve Maguire because I remember seeing him there actually.
Yeah, he was in the Glasgow tour 2016. I think.
Yeah, he turned up and was watching.
Stephen Maguire, Jason Shaw, and Scott Gillespie watching my game. It was a little bit intimidating.
That's a great shot, by the way, from Jordan Church.
Really,
1-0 down. Left yourself a real tester. I mean, it's a